Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Authors, Books, and a Beverage. Mary and I have our beverage today,
Yep,
and
as
we have a
usual.
guest star that we're
Susie
going to chat with during our interview here. And we're excited to have her. She's coming to us from California. So we'll let her tell you. Her name's Susan Black, and we're excited to have her. So Susan, hi, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, we're so glad to have you. Now, we would like
Yes.
to know where you're from. I know I said California. How long have you been in California?
Since I was 9 years old, I'm a
Oh,
Jersey.
wow. So you're really okay.
Well, I'm a Jersey girl to begin with.
Oh,
I still say pocketbook instead of purse, and drives my family crazy. I say orange instead of orange, so people immediately know I'm not from here.
oh, okay.
But, I was raised in Southern California, and the only time I really lived outside of California was 4 years when I began my career as a traveling sales lady. I was a manufacturer's representative in the Deep South, and I was the only woman who did it. I'd walk into a store and they'd say, "Now, honey, what kind of daddy do you have to let you do a job like that?" I worked for my dad. It was an accident. I was visiting after college, and
Wow.
my dad was at a trade show in Atlanta, and his mother became very ill, and it didn't look good right in the middle of the trade show. And none of the companies that he worked for could send somebody. So I'm sitting there having a cup of coffee with my mother. The phone rings, and it's my dad. And he says, "I need you to come to Atlanta." And I'm like, "Are you talking to me?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." I said, "Well, you do understand that the only experience I have with ladies' clothing is I wear it." So, okay, it's my dad. I said, "Who's going to help me?" He said, "Your mother." I said, "Splendid. The blind leading the deaf. Wonderful." So Tweedledee and Tweedledum got on a plane from Miami, went to Atlanta. He gave me
That started your career, huh?
he gave me 1 hour of how to be a salesperson and left for 3
Oh,
days.
my goodness.
Whoa.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah,
I bet you have a lot of stories, huh?
I do. And as a result, I kept a journal from the very beginning of my career. Every day when I moved back to California from Atlanta, I had 50 books filled.
Oh, my goodness.
50. So I have lots of stories to tell. And my Nana always told me things happen for a reason. And the reason you got into the apparel business is because you were destined to write about it from a woman's point of view. And here I am.
I have
Wow.
a question. So you were thrown into it by your father, so to speak. Do you love it?
You know, I loved parts of it.
Okay.
Well, you know, I was going to go to grad school, but that didn't make any sense. I have a degree in journalism, and in those days, there were very few opportunities for women. I had a disaster of an interview with a major city paper. The guy said, "Well, honey, all of our girls start in the secretarial pool." And I took my resume and said, "Bye-bye."
Bye.
Well, I wasn't quite that polite, but you know what I mean. But things do happen for a reason, and I loved what I did because it was so different. And you know, when you're in school, you're learning. When you actually get into life, you're doing. And
Yep.
in the beginning, it was like going on a vacation. I stayed in hotels, I ate meals out. I carried some garment bags in, carried them out, got orders, and I got paid. So what's to hate? But it was a very different life. And you know, when you come from Southern California and you go to Boaz, Alabama, let me tell you what, girls, you are in another country.
Tell me, Susan, out of 50-something journals, how many books have you written?
5.
5. Wow. And
Five.
Are
what?
they full length?
I'm sorry.
Are they full length?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
One was published last year, and 4 will be published this year. I must be out of my mind to publish 4 books in.
So are you are you an indie author or do you have a publisher?
No, I have a publisher,
Okay.
I'm with the Wild Rose Press,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and,
We're very familiar with the Wild Rose Press.
well, good, I hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yes,
That's
apparently you
our
are.
calendar.
Okay, you got me sold. The first 4 books are humorous murder mysteries that take place
Okay.
in the Apparel Center. And the 5th book is the very first manuscript I ever wrote, and it's called Rag Lady. And it is the fictionalized version of how I got into the apparel business and my experiences of traveling in the Deep South for almost 5 years.
Oh,
And
Wow.
that will be published in November of this year. And I just wish my dad was still here for that one, because that's our story. Maybe I think he knows.
he knows. I have another question. When you say Deep South, was that in like New Orleans and things like that also?
Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, the
Okay.
Carolinas, and the Virginias.
Okay. Okay.
I went to Mississippi once as a favor to one of the companies, and I said, no, thank you. I won't be going back. Jackson was very nice, and the coast was very nice, but in between, oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't traveled a whole lot. In that area. I've done just like Louisiana and Florida, and that's about as much as I've done down there.
Well, whenever I was in Mobile was only 90 miles from New Orleans, so I used to go there on weekends, and
Okay.
it was very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So where
love
can
New
we find your
Orleans.
books, Susan?
I'm sorry.
Where can we find your books?
Yeah.
Well, you can find them on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo,
Okay.
Google Books, iBooks.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they ebooks too?
Yes. Right
Okay.
now, we publish my books in both paperbacks and electronic versions. But I have had a number of people asking me about audiobooks, and I haven't done it yet, but I had a very interesting thing happen to me last weekend. Guy sends me an email, and he got my name from Drew from she does what the hell does she do? Oops, what the heck?
Don't worry.
She does a lot of
Been
reviews.
bombed.
I'm so sorry. I hope you like that. I have a potty mouth. It's a terrible thing. My husband always says, "You
Me
too."
too.
Oh, we are kindred souls, girl. But in any event, I've had this gentleman contact me, and he's blind. And he asked me if I have any of my books in audio version. And I haven't done it yet, but when I went back through all of my other emails, I think I've had about 20 requests. So I guess I'm going to have to try it.
And how that works for you, let me know, because I've been wanting to do it, but I don't know, on my own, because I'm an indie author.
Right.
I've been with small presses, but I just do my own now. But so if you let us know.
I will. Well, I have a number of author colleagues that have done it, and I can certainly query the crowd and let you know, because I am clueless. I have no idea how to do this, except I know it isn't cheap.
That's
No,
right.
that-
They're
yeah.
expensive.
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Are.
that-
So
We authors,
so tell me,
we're not in this for the money.
okay, I have one other question before we go.
Yes,
and I may
we
have
gotta-
one too.
Okay. Give us a title of your books.
Oh, yes.
well, the very first book, my award-winning debut was Death by Sample Size. And my second book that is coming out on the 15th of February is Death by Pins and Needles. Then I have Death by Surfboard and,
Wow.
and Death by Cutting Table. That was my favorite. And I have to tell you, it's very cathartic to kill off people that you would have loved to kill off in real life.
Yes.
I tell my son is a psychologist. Honey, you should use this for therapy.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I get mad at work and I come home and I just chop vegetables as hard as I can. That's my
Oh,
therapy.
that is an excellent outlet. Yes. And what about
Right.
you, madam? What do you do?
Right. What?
Judy, what do you do?
I don't know what I do. I think I just throw
Golf.
things.
Oh,
Okay, you might win.
yeah.
So you had a question, Mary?
Yeah, now I can't remember what it was. Sucks to get old.
You know, I'm so happy that you had that happened to you. That happens to me all the time. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
do
know.
that a lot.
yeah, well,
So now you're
Well, Susan,
retired
we-
and writing, is that correct? Are you retired and writing?
oh yes, yes.
So basically you're an author by profession, you're not retired, because if you're writing,
Yes,
you're
that
not retired.
is correct. And I find that I'm a heck of a lot busier than I think I ever was
Yeah.
before. It's
Yep.
weird, you know. I don't know what
Yeah.
I was expecting, but this isn't it.
I know that will happen. Yeah. Our time is up, Susan. It's been fun chatting with you. And we wish you luck with your books coming out, all of them.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I'm crazy or a genius to do them all in 1 year, but
They'll expect 4 books from you next year.
Yeah,
well, yes,
they
and I can
will.
take off next year,
Yeah.
but no, I've got one more to write, and it's
Okay.
halfway done, and I'll leave you with a very funny story. It's called Death by
Okay.
Jelly Beans, and I'll just leave you with this. There's a 6-foot-tall rabbit who's the victim.
Oh,
Okay.
Harvey.
It's an Easter story.
Yeah, that
Oh,
sounds
good.
good.
All right.
So-
Interesting. We'll have
I'm
to hear more
laughing my
about
own-
it.
It's terrible because I'm laughing at my own jokes, or I call into my husband, honey, how does this sound? Am I the only one that's gonna laugh? He goes, no, that's pretty funny.
You will have
That's
to
good.
keep us informed on our Facebook,
I
okay,
Yes.
will,
about that 6-foot rabbit, okay?
will.
Thank you for joining us. We
Yes,
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having me. This has been fun. I hope I didn't babble too much.
No,
No,
you didn't.
no.
It's been
That's
fun.
what we
It's
like,
been
to
fun.
hear
Thank
all
you,
about
lady.
you. Okay, so see you
Bye-bye.
later, everyone.